Don't think he's just a conqueror. He changed the course of history. The man who made his tribe his slaves. The man who led an army of 100,000 soldiers to fight those who killed his ambassadors. The man who gave birth to a child only 4 months after meeting his wife. The man whose lineage is linked to 0.5% of the world's population. And you may be one of them. The man who conquered the world with his strength and armies and was not defeated, and his death was caused by falling from his horse. He is the bloodthirsty, according to some, and the unifying leader and divine symbol, according to others. He is Genghis Khan. Dear viewer, let's delve into his details and reach the height of his empire and learn together how he reshaped the world in ways we are only beginning to understand. He was often described as a barbarian, but wait a minute. Who was this man really?
Who is Genghis Khan?
Genghis Khan was born to a family of Mongol nomads on the banks of the Onon River near Lake Baikal in Mongolia, and his original name was Temujin. Due to the ambiguity of the history of the Mongols at that time, the stories disappeared, including the date of his birth, as some say that he may have been born in 1155 AD, and said that it was in 1162 AD. His birth was auspicious, according to the Mongols' belief. His father, Yesugei, was a descendant of a clan that owned property from the Mongols, and the leader of the Borjigin clan, and before the birth of Genghis Khan, he defeated one of the tribes, the last supper of its leader. So it was said that the sons of Temujin were named after the slain leader. Yesugei kidnapped his mother, Temujin, at her wedding night to another man, so the second pressured her, and it was said that their son Temujin was born holding a ball of clotted blood, which to the Mongols meant that he would be a great warrior.
His early life and youth.
His childhood was full of challenges and hardships that shaped him and prepared him for great goals. His father was poisoned by the Tatar nomads, a nomadic people who had a long-standing enmity with the Mongols. With the death of Yesugei, the clan got rid of Temujin, his mother, and his 7 brothers. A rival family took over the leadership and expelled them, considering them too weak to lead. Genghis and the common people lived in difficult conditions and suffered from extreme poverty, to the point that they ate plants and fish, while the Mongol nomads relied mainly on lamb and mare's milk. Temujin, an ambitious and brave young man, faced many hardships in his childhood. He was betrayed and tortured by his relatives, which prompted him to develop his skills and fighting skills. Under the circumstances he lived in, Temujin learned that survival was worth every chance he got. It is said that Taishot's tribe kept him in their camps instead of killing him. Genghis Khan married the daughter of an enemy tribe when he was 16, and she kidnapped Jews. Getty Images. One night, Temujin noticed that his guards were not tight, so he decided to escape while listening to the surveillance and knocked the guard down with a blow from his wooden collar. Taishot's sons searched for him at night, and one of them saw him, but helped him escape with his life and did not report him. The robbers stole 8 of the 9 purebred horses that belonged to Temujin's family, so Temujin pursued them. Then he asked a strange young man who was milking the cows if he had seen them. So the young man stopped milking and gave Temujin a horse and set off with him to help him search for them. And thanks to his physical strength and courage, he recovered his horses. His fellow milkman refused to accept the reward from him, so Temujin and his companions took him.
Genghis Khan industry.
Genghis Khan killed his half-brother in his teens so that he could take over the leadership and form a powerful group of warriors instead of his tribe and relatives. The first thing he did was kidnap his wife, Borji, from her tribe in revenge for what they did to his father. He stole everything in the tribe and left it empty, crying over the horrors they faced from Genghis and his warriors. While Genghis Khan had a childhood friend named Jamuka, when they grew up, their friendship turned into a conflict that lasted for 2 years and ended with their separation. Jamuka led a rival alliance of princes to Genghis Khan and nominated himself to be Gur Khan. But Genghis Khan's greatness at that time was stronger than Jamuka's coup, and Ong Khan had given him a high position and supported him.
Mongol unification.
Genghis Khan was a man of great physical strength and military prowess, executing his enemies among the tribal leaders, incorporating subjects into his tribe, turning some into soldiers and slaves, and organizing his warriors into units of 10. Khan was an animist and followed some of the Mongolian shamanic beliefs, which revere the winds, mountains, and what they consider to be the spirits of the sky. But his followers were said to have been of different faiths, including Christians, Buddhists, and Muslims. By 1205, he had united the steppe tribes and defeated all his rivals, establishing a state the size of present-day Mongolia, and was then called Genghis Khan, which translates from the Altaic language to universal ruler. He regularly monitored the seeds of rebellion and made sure to kill his nomadic enemies, and he fought and defeated the Tatars, then slaughtered everyone taller than the axle of the chariot, sparing only the children who he assumed would be his loyal followers. The Secret History of the Mongols, one of the most famous historical sources of that period, said that Genghis Khan intended to exterminate all rival aristocratic families. Genghis Khan rejected tribal loyalties that favored fragmentation. So in 1206, he was pledged allegiance to as emperor of all the steppe inhabitants, and distributed thousands of families under the care of his relatives and companions in a system resembling the feudal structure to replace the tribal clan system. Then the Mongol tribes gathered and seized a large part of Siberia and the modern Chinese province of Xinjiang, and Genghis Khan ruled with a civil and military law called Yasak. Genghis Khan had annexed the lands of the Naiman tribe that allied with Jamuka, so Kukluk, the son of the Naiman leader, fled to the Karakatia state, married the daughter of its ruler, and then turned against him after a while, and appointed himself king. Kukluk attacked a city belonging to the Mongols, so Genghis Khan sent an army to eliminate him, and annexed the Karakate state to the Mongol Empire, so that its borders would be adjacent to the Islamic Khwarezmian state.
His wars and invasions.
Genghis Khan wanted to control the trade route of the Asian continent, so he decided to unite with the Khwarezmian state, which was at odds with the rest of the other states that controlled the trade route. Genghis Khan wanted to win the sympathy of the Khwarezmian state towards him, so he sent ambassadors with gifts of gold and countless goods to the Sultan, Ala al-Din Khwarezm Shah. But while the caravan was passing through the Khwarezmian state, the ruler Inaljuk captured the caravan merchants and informed the Sultan of his suspicion that they were spies, so Sultan Jalal al-Din gave him permission to kill them, so he executed them all. Genghis Khan became angry and sent 3 ambassadors to Sultan Jalal al-Din and asked him to hand over Inaljuk and pay appropriate compensation. But the Sultan refused and killed one of Genghis Khan's ambassadors, and sent his head with the rest of the ambassadors after shaving their faces. This act was a motive for Genghis Khan to take revenge on the Khwarezmian state, and he prepared an army of 100,000 soldiers and divided it into 4 groups led by his sons, and sent one group to delude the Khwarezmians that this was the main Mongol army. He continued his attacks and siege of the Islamic cities, and the city of Atrar was the first city to fall into the hands of the Mongols. So they destroyed the city, executed the residents, and killed Inaljuk. In 1220, Genghis Khan headed to the city of Bukhara, and its army fought the Mongols outside the city, but they were defeated. and the Mongols seized the city, burned its mosques, killed the residents, and captured some of them. Then the Mongols headed to Samarkand, whose army surrendered, while its residents took up arms. So the Mongols eliminated them and entered Samarkand, looted and destroyed it. Sultan Ala al-Din Muhammad Khwarazm Shah fled with his son and the leaders of his army, so Genghis Khan ordered that he be pursued. Many cities were destroyed in that pursuit, and the Mongols took control of the wealth of the Khwarezmian state. Genghis Khan died in August 1227 during his campaign against the Tangut people, and his death was said to be of natural causes, which denied his belief that he knew the secret of eternal life. It was also said that his death was the beginning of an accident in early 1227, when he fell from his horse, resulting in injuries from which he did not recover. He died due to falling from his horse. Genghis Khan's grave has not yet been identified, but his body was transferred to Mongolia. Some consider Genghis Khan to have been a brutal and bloodthirsty warrior and conqueror, while the Mongols had a unified leader, a global ruler, and a divine symbol. Dear viewer, do you agree with me that Genghis Khan's personality was born from the womb of his suffering, from his tribe's expulsion of him and his life? That was wars and raids, day and night. Or is it the Mongolian genes that shaped his personality? Is he a strong man who was able to make history for the expansions he made for his country, and was able to make history and is remembered to this day? Please share your opinion with me in the comments, and please subscribe to the channel and like it to receive all that is new in God's care and protection.